Hi everybody, Flash Trasman here, just rounding up my conclusions of our short playthrough of Go Medieval. As a concept, I like the idea of the game. I do like the idea. I do think it's got great potential, but it's got issues. It's early access, fine. It's early access, we know that. So it's still in development. But there are parts of it that I really get frustrated with. I mean, let's start with the positives first of all. Positives, the ability to build whatever you want in pretty much with the tools you can build any type of building you want. You can build massive castles, tiny little buildings, fortresses. You can build you've got the potential to build whatever you want, and that's great. And I love, if you've ever watched one of my Foundation playthroughs, I've loved doing that type of stuff, which is good. But even with that, there are issues within that. If you look at the buildings, my biggest bugbear with the buildings is the central walls. Fine, you need, for supporting roofs, you need to have good strong walls for supporting roofs. But for non-supporting walls, you end up with these massive, great external walls inside. There are no like partition walls for inside buildings, so you end up having to do the outer walls. Everything is massive, great, big 4 log partitions. So there needs to be more within the build menu. Within the build menu, let's get to it. Here, there needs to be wooden wall. There needs to be. It takes 5 wood. There needs to be like thinner walls for non-supporting walls. Again, so that's a little bit of a bugbear. Another bugbear. If you destroy a wall, it destroys the floor underneath it as well. Which kind of, if I took that wall down, it'll destroy the wall below it, and I don't want it to do that. Why does it do that? I'm taking it just because you're taking it. Doesn't mean you have to destroy the whole floor, because there was a floorboard before there for it to sit on, and that's a bit frustrating. When you clear an entire building, you end up having to clear entire. You have to put loads of floorboards back in, which is frustrating. Food harvesting is an issue. This is from episode 3. We've got crops. They're going to gather some. But we've got rotted crops because they've not gathered it all in. Again, so they've not come back. I'm still sat there wondering, well, what do I do now? And they're not coming back to gather it. They disappear again. They've not come back. And this is they farm the entire area. They pull it up and they replant everything, but then nobody comes along and picks up what's there already, and it just ends up leaving there to rot. As you can see here, I'm trying to work out what I can do to try and make people harvest it. And then you've got a message: food reserves in the stockpile are low. It tells it's low. Yet you look, and there's lots of stuff lying on the ground, rotting away. Settlers. There doesn't appear to be a methodology or a process you need to follow to attract settlers. It doesn't seem to be kind of an attractability, a sort of level you have to hit. For example, enough beds, enough food, enough splendor, nothing. You've got no way of really knowing how to attract a settler. It just seems to be completely random as to when they appear. So it makes it very difficult to kind of plan ahead when you've got no clue whether anybody's going to turn up or not. So if you start with a small number of settlers on the base game, like we started with 3, it's incredibly difficult to get going because you've simply got no idea what the mechanism is for new settlers arriving. Rooms is another one that I struggle to see the purpose of it. Go to the rooms. At the moment, as you can see, it's difficult because it's got cost difference. It's incredibly difficult to actually see it all. And we've got at the moment, we've got lots of spare rooms because you have to achieve certain things to get into a certain room. For example, this red one is that one, Oak Brethren. So we've achieved this. We've achieved these rooms, and it's done great. And it gives us positive mood modifiers when spending time here for everybody at Oak Brethren, which is fine. But it's kind of like it's almost an afterthought. It's almost this fine. You get positivity for having these rooms, but it doesn't. You don't look like you get negative for not having them. and it just kind of like, it's kind of an afterthought. It's kind of there. You're not really kind of like, unless you kind of scroll through, you think, oh, I've got to do that, have I? But you kind of think to yourself, well, do I need to do that? A Great Hall. Again, it kind of, you miss out on positive effects by not doing it, but you don't really lose out by not doing it. So you think, so well, actually, I'm not bothered about giving everybody individual bedrooms. I'm just going to stick them in Bikini Manor because it don't seem to bother them. You know, it's not like it's an issue for them. Layers. This, for me, is my biggest issue with this game. I find it deep. I like the concept. Basic layers. Because in theory, you can drill down, as you go there, you can drill down multiple levels. You can go all the way down multiple levels. You can drill down multiple levels, you can go up multiple levels. So in theory, they've put something in place in this game to allow you to go up and down. So you've got your layers here. So if we go down like this, so it's Control plus a mouse wheel. Is it? Mouse wheel to quickly move through the layers. Yeah, but if you look here, look at the numbers there. They're not moving. Again, it's like, it's not until you get to like all of a sudden you're there, and so you're rolling through it, and it's kind of like, well, I've got whole levels I'm not going through, and it's almost as if they're trying to anticipate how high you're going to do it, so they're giving you levels of heights. They're almost kind of saying, actually, you can build 16. So is that saying actually? So if we get a bit closer up, so if I go like down a bit closer, right? If you watch this now. After I've unclicked roofs, I'll come to roofs in a minute. Right, so let's go up. So if I can control up there to the top, right, 16. So if I go all the way down here, keep going. 8, 7.5, 7, 6 takes you kind of what level I'm looking at there. Again, it's like what? Again, it's kind of these. There's almost what is this kind of? I don't understand the view I'm looking at. It's kind of, get my camera right. If you look at the view I'm looking at here, it's kind of, what am I doing here? Is that, it's almost as if it's splitting levels in half. So I go back up here, and I'm now there, and I go again. Oh, I've gone the long way. There. So it's now got me to the bottom. It's now got me to that floor. So is it saying so what is that basically saying? If I want to knock down the wall, I've got to be this level. Otherwise, I've got to be at this level, and it's incredibly difficult. And I just find it incredibly frustrating because you have in Master it's like, yeah, and we're there. I keep going down like that, and they're like, yeah, and it's how many levels can I keep going down? So is that telling me now I can only go? Is that saying I can go down a certain level? I just find it. I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to preempt how deep people are going to go and how high people are going to go. But for me, I just don't like it. I find it annoying. I mean, perhaps I'm being fussy, but I don't find it. It's not intuitive and it's not easy. What I'd like to see, it's clear that for me, you should have. It should like, that's ground. That's always ground. You should have if you go down one level, it's ground -1, ground -2, ground -3, and then if you're going up, it's ground. It's going to be ground +1. So in each level should be one wall length high. So that would be ground 1, 2, 3, and then you got your roof on top. So you'd always have like roof and then sky above that. There's got to be a better way of doing it, that you can just hit a drop down and pick a level, rather than this, right, I'm going to have to go like this and try and work out when it's to stop. And I just don't like it. It parts of me being fussy, but it doesn't work for me. It's just too fiddly. And it's not intuitive. It's not, give me a drop down, so I want to go to ground floor. 1, it'll take me to the first level, 1 wall height. 2 will take me 2 wall heights. 3 takes me 3 wall heights, and then above that I've got roof. Or you just have it. You don't even bother roof. You go ground 1, 2, 3, 4 for the height of your buildings, and that's it. And then you've got something to turn the top of your trees off, and you've got something to take your top of your roofs off. So if we put roofs on again, I'm now going to go up a level to all the way to the roof. Roofs. perhaps is where I built my buildings, but it's all over the place. It's kind of, if you're not careful, it's very easy to like destroy off your roof if you get your placements wrong. When I built this originally, I extended it out because I didn't think it through. I didn't get my walls right. Half my wall, roof's disappeared. And like these buildings are pretty much the same. They're the same length. They're not that much massively different. Yet I couldn't get that lined up. But then for whatever reason, I didn't have a central pillar in place. Got it in place now, but for love of money, I could not get those walls to line up. I couldn't get them to line up at all. And it was really, sometimes the roofs can be really, really annoying. And that's probably me need to get a bit better at it, maybe that. But the roofs, and it's very easy to accidentally knock a roof down. And sometimes you don't even realise you've done it. Because it's just, I did find the roofs. That's more probably an issue with me, not getting it right, but it can be annoying. Concluding, overall, I enjoyed the game. I played it on peaceful because, you know, that's what I wanted to do. I'm not that necessarily bothered about the combat side of it. But then I'm glad I didn't, because you get so few settlers. I wouldn't want to play. I wouldn't want to play in combat because I'd be thinking, well, I've only got like 6 people. How do I manage those 6 people? It's got potential, but it's just, there's all the little things we've gone over just drag you away from the game. You think to yourself, and the amount of games that are out there now, I mean, that you can play that kind of do this and do it better. Things like RimWorld. I know a lot of people have talked about RimWorld, Dwarf Fortress. Do this type of thing, but do it better, or make it more friendly, more fun. It's kind of like, it's got a long way to go. It's got a long way to go, and I think that it's something I want to revisit, but I'm not going to revisit it for a few months and let it develop, let it move on a little bit, and see whether the things that we've discussed improve, change, or not. Because there's a great game out there, but for me at the moment, there's too many things for me that just don't work. Or if that's how they intended to work, then it's just deeply frustrating. I know I'm coming across as negative and like down on it. I'm just kind of being honest, and it's kind of like, yeah. So again, we will come back to this because there is a game in there that I really, really want to enjoy, but at the moment, I'm just going to take a break from it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've played it, how you've played it. If you think I'm talking garbage, please feel free to tell me. I mean, I'm always like to get feedback on these things. But anyway, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Alright, bye.